It is a huge week for the Reds in the race for the title. They face two massive Premier League games in the space of just 5 days. Anfield plays host to part one of that double tonight in what is a dress rehearsal for next month's League Cup final. It is Liverpool versus Chelsea. Kick-off here tonight is at 8:15. Welcome along to Anfield and to Matchday Live. Phil Thompson and Ray Houghton are with me tonight, braving the rain once again. Brolly's on standby. We know we will need them before the evening is done. Gentlemen, good to have you with us once again. And Tomo, what a week it is. Two huge games, as I said. It really whets the appetite of what could be possible if we get good results in these two games against Chelsea tonight and Arsenal on Sunday.
Yeah, it is. This one's massive. This one's got to be dealt with. And Chelsea have become one of those teams to us, hasn't it? Because of the Abramovich era, winning all those trophies, the big Champions League. And now, all of a sudden, we're playing FA Cup final, we're playing League Cup final, Carabao Cup. So it's become huge. And I know a lot of them have been negative vibes about them. I thought the two cup finals were actually really good games of football without there being goals. And I just think it is. So it's a massive game. And then we've got Sunday as well. I always like to think, get this one. This one's so important. Let's get this one done. Let's try and win this game. And then we can see and talk about what players you're going to have available for Sunday.
Yeah. You know, Phil's right, isn't he, Ray, that this is sort of a modern-day rivalry, if we call it that. The Jose Mourinho era sparked it all off. So many games in quick succession in so many competitions, the big ones in Europe as well. There's a bit of niggle to this, and there will be tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, Mark. And recent games between the two sides, we've had, 5 draws in a row in the league? It just shows you how competitive the two teams are. But just going back to Liverpool itself, what a month it's been. You know, January's been very, very good to Liverpool. You know, they've played at a really high level, got some fantastic results, through to the 5th round of the FA Cup, through to the League Cup final, all in January. These performances have been so good. Go away to Bournemouth and win. And it'd be nice to round it off tonight, the last day of the month, with a victory against Chelsea. But it won't be difficult because they have picked up recently. I think Chelsea won the last 3 league games that they've been involved in. So they're showing signs with the group of players that they've got. They're starting to get the team ethic right. I think that was a problem for them. They weren't really playing as one. You know, there was a few over there and a few over here, and that was very fragmented from our point of view when looking at them. But you've seen upshoots of where they could get to. I like Pochettino. I liked him when he was at Tottenham. I thought he got them playing good football, and I think given time he'll do the same at Chelsea. But they've spent a lot of money, and that's where the problem lies, because owners and fans, there's an expectation at Chelsea that you have to be successful. And at the moment, if you look at the league position, it's not looking too good at the moment, but I think it certainly will improve as the season goes on.
Yeah, so frustrating when Chelsea have a likeable manager. It was better when they had a sort of panto villain in the dugout. In terms of, you know, Ray's point there, it's actually a good one. It's been such a great start to the new year. Not just the results, but the goals scored, the manner of some of the performances. When obstacles have been thrown up, we've navigated them well. We've dealt with the disruption of last week, the Jurgen's announcement. Everything has ticked over pretty well up until this point.
And no Mo Salah. You know, and Endo as well, not being there. And it's been up. But we found, besides that, you look back, certainly just before December, and we were finding ways to win. And we weren't playing particularly sort of great, it wasn't. But that's how you win titles. And I just think we've found things are starting to move forward. Things are starting, even with the young lads who've just been playing, McConnell and Bradley. And you start going, hold on a minute, something's taking place here. Everybody seems to be rejuvenated. And let's hope what happened with Jurgen does give us that buzz. But it's been a wonderful time. December was busy, but good. January, as Ray just explained, was again absolutely fantastic. We just need to push on then. It's going to be busy right to the end. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. You know, that is the important thing, isn't it? It's about the fact that sometimes in a title race, Ray, or when you want to win cups, maybe the first stages of a campaign, you just find a way to win. You get the right to then get a rhythm later into the competition. That's maybe what we're doing just now. We're starting to play better football and look more like a title-challenging side than we did maybe in September or in August.
And don't forget about the options that are coming back. You know, a lot of players coming back from injury. and that's going to be helpful to the depth of the squad. The manager can rotate players in the knowledge that they're good enough to come into the team, and that's what's been so good about the young players that have been given their opportunity this season. They've all taken it. You know, there's not one you turn around and say, well, he's not been quite on his game. Everyone's been absolutely first class at the moment, and they all deserve their place in the team.
But even the elder statesmen, Ray, it gives them a bit of a buzz to see the young lads come in, because you want them to do well. Nobody's going to criticise them, and they'll make sort of Kwanzaa makes a sort of last-ditch tackle, and everybody sort of gives them a high five, and so it gives even the more experienced players. They've been there as a youngster. They want to give them a little bit of help, and I think that is also what's sort of driven everybody on.
But also the guys who were here last season, there was so much frustration around the place. Guys knew that it hadn't been a good campaign. They were used to playing so much better, being involved in competitions. Because things kind of ebbed away from them, I think they're really relishing the fact. Now, this is the Liverpool we've been accustomed to. We're back into our groove now, and as you mentioned, there's a whole new kind of wave of young talent to enjoy watching develop as well.
It's Liverpool too, isn't it? Which is, Jurgen has sort of christened it, and you can see that. Yes, it was difficult. We did exceptionally well to get Europa League football towards the end of it. But you're looking at this season, what's going to happen? And these new players come in. We've been in dressing rooms, Ray, haven't we? Where you get some new players coming in, the good lads. You find a way. It gives you a little bit of a buzz in the dressing room. New faces, new players with different attributes. And then you get the youngsters. So it's a win-win all round, especially when you start winning games and you're going, well, this is decent. Szoboszlai hitting the ground running, Endo coming in, doing what he did before he went away. So there was pluses all round, and we just need to keep it going. Listen, even if today doesn't go right and Sunday doesn't go right, you're playing two big teams in January. There's a long way to go. So nothing would ever be lost anyway. Nothing's ever won except the Carling Cup.
See, now you've thrown that out. Well, that's true.
The Carling Cup.
I'm fascinated to know, your playing days, do you remember a time when a new player walked through the door and it just injected life into the place? Be it because they were a great player or because they were a great character, one or the other?
People are not going to remember him because it was a guy called Dalglish. He sort of rejuvenated.
You could have picked someone more random.
Sorry, Mark, sorry. But it was, you can imagine him coming in and you went, wow. You knew he was a good player coming from Celtic. But he's another one who hit the ground running. Proper team player, everything. And he replaced Kevin Keegan, who was probably the star player. So Kenny coming in was it was a wow moment. And he went on, obviously, to greatness. Sorry about that, Mark.
More recently, Alisson and Virgil would be the two that I would look at. Because I think there was a hindrance with Liverpool not winning, and it was down to maybe the goalkeeper at times not being quite of the level that was needed. Alisson came in, he's been so good, so consistent, game in, game out, season on season, and he just gives such confidence to the back four and the team in general. How many attacks does he start? Comes out, collects it, commands his 18-yard box, sees something downfield, and he's got the ability to pick someone out. That's the difference.
There's an argument. He's perhaps been one of the most, if not the most significant signing of Jurgen's spell. Him and Virgil are the two that really kind of stand out. You'll throw in Mo Salah as well. I know you're going to do. I can see what that look on your face.
I was thinking, where are you going with this? Yeah, there's been plenty in it. Listen, that's one of the great things about Jurgen and his backroom staff. The recruitment policy at the club has been exceptional. There's been very few, if any, that haven't lived up to the standard when they came to the club. They've been brought in here for a reason because of good players, and that's the likes of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister, all new to the club, but they've fitted in seamlessly. Endo, as Tomo mentioned earlier, they've all come in at the start of this season and they've fitted in seamlessly. It looks like they've been here for years, and all credit to them and to the players that were here from previous seasons who've helped them to settle in to the football at the club. And the manager, he's the leader, he's the one that sets the tone, and he's done that exceptionally well. That's why we're in the position that we're in, and the next two games could shape the course of the season. You win tonight, win on Sunday against Arsenal, that's going to put Arsenal on a downer, because they think they're close enough to put Liverpool under pressure. Everybody will be watching tonight, hoping Chelsea can do them a favour and keep it as tight as it can at the top of the Premier League. But it's massive for Liverpool to get 3 points tonight.
Certainly is. Okay, well, I did suggest at the top of the show we might need some umbrellas tonight. So while we go and get some, let's head inside and get the details of Liverpool's team for tonight from Pete.
Yeah, nice and dry in here, Mark, and the mission of 7 wins from 7 starts here for Liverpool tonight. 2 massive games against Chelsea, the first here in Premier League and one just around the corner a couple of weeks away at Wembley in that Carabao Cup. And it is a squad that's bustling now to try and help at the business end of the season. Szoboszlai, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson coming off at the bench at the weekend. Only Szoboszlai gets the nod from the start tonight. Alexis McAllister comes straight in, and also Conor Bradley keeps his place. 3 changes to that team from the weekend. Let's take a look at them in detail then. Alisson in goal as always. Only lost 1 game he's played against Chelsea for Liverpool and Roma. 6 clean sheets in that time as well. Familiar look about the team from there, isn't there? Virgil van Dijk, Konate, who makes his 16th Premier League outing tonight, gets better with every single one. Gomez, Szoboszlai back in the side. Diaz and then Núñez, much talked about. Again, lots of column inches around him today. His 50th appearance for Liverpool in their colours tonight. First player in all 5 of Europe's top leagues to reach double figures for goals and assists now without the aid of penalties. 11 goals for the season. That is an average, by the way, of a goal every 106 minutes. McAllister, who made his debut at Stamford Bridge, back in the side again. Jones, Jota on 12 for the season now, scored both of his penalties against Chelsea in those Wembley finals a couple of seasons ago. And strikers, by the way, a team that have scored 30 of their last 31 games, a real threat in the final third, Liverpool. And Conor Bradley, a couple of man-of-the-match performances to talk about as well, where he is concerned. And a foot out for Trent Alexander-Arnold, should he get on the pitch tonight. His 300th game in all competitions for Liverpool. An incredible tally when you look at his age as well, 25 years of age. Only Ian Rush and Emlyn Hughes got there quicker for Liverpool across the time as well. It's a Chelsea team with their tails up, only 1 defeat in their last 7, only 2 wins from 18 in their games against Liverpool, and they will be looking to upset the apple cart, as difficult as it might be here at Anfield. They've played a couple of cup games back-to-back like Liverpool. They make 3 changes themselves from last time out in the Premier League. Let's take a look at their team. Last out against Fulham, Petrovic in goal. He's been their number 1 since before Christmas because of Robert Sanchez's injury. And then a couple of changes, 3 of them across the back 4. Dizassi keeps his place, a French teammate of Ibu Konate, of course, scored Chelsea's goal against us on the opening day of the season. It's an average age, by the way, of Chelsea, very young team of just 25, with Thiago Silva at the age of 39. He's started 19 of their 21 Premier League games so far this season. Caicedo, everything's been said about him the last couple of days, and Fernandes, those holding midfield players. World Cup winner alongside Alexis McAllister, of course. Fernandes. Raheem Sterling, lots of interest around him as always. His 21st game against Liverpool since leaving. He's only won 3 of them. Their danger man, as you've talked about, Cole Palmer, 13 goals from his 27 games so far. 7 assists too, 6 in his last 4. And it's Madueke who's got the nod up front. You'll notice no Ramiro Lavia for them either, linked so heavily with Liverpool, of course. Didn't play till the day after Boxing Day and picked up another injury, not been seen since. Not that he needed to say anything, Jurgen Klopp, but he's requested another very special Anfield atmosphere tonight. Should they win, it would be his 200th Premier League win as Liverpool manager. The first, of course, came against Chelsea as well back in 2015.
Thank you, Pete. Well, we spoke about the positives. You're right there, Tomo. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. You don't mind us. We spoke about the positives this season so far. We spoke about the position Liverpool have got themselves in. We also spoke about the fact young players have stepped in and stepped up. What a vote in confidence for Conor Bradley to retain his place for this huge clash, Tomo.
Do you know, you look at Conor, and there's been a lot of talk, hasn't it, since the weekend. Would he start? Would Trent start in midfield? Because he has done that well. He's given Jurgen a real sort of a problem, if you want. Listen, nobody's as good as Trent and doing what Trent does. But when Conor has played, I don't think anybody has been sort of put out of position. He's played it exceptionally well. And yes, he's probably a better defender than what Trent, but nobody does what Trent Alexander-Arnold does, which is quite exceptional. But for him to retain his place, obviously Trent may be feeling a little bit, because I see he had his knee strapped the other day, but he's been a player. He's done himself no harm whatsoever. And I think Conor is here. When everybody's fit, he will still be on that subs bench if he goes back with Trent at right back.
Yeah, one of the real positives of the issues we faced in the early part of the season is the fact that Connor Bradley, Jarell Quansah now, the first team options. They're not just guys that you'll push back out into the academy or send out on loan, you would have thought. These guys are here to stay, you would imagine.
Yeah, and also Curtis Jones, don't forget Curtis. Curtis is in the starting 11 on merit. Just his form of late's been exceptional. You know, he gives his drive from that midfield area. He's got an eye for goals, we've seen in the matches that he's played recently. But just going back to Connor, you know, the manager, he's got great confidence in him. He had that to start him. You know, you've got your belief in your players to give him an opportunity. And then it's up to you to go and take it. And that's exactly what Connor's done in the matches that I've seen him play in. He gets forward to good effect, but he's defending. You know, he defends that back post really well. You know, any crosses that come in there, he's got a decent height about him, good leap. Positionally, he knows the positions that he should get in. And he's just a different type to Trent. You know, both of them are fit. Trent plays, because Trent gives you a lot more going forward. Trent's got some of the best passing ability you've seen from a player. He's absolutely exceptional. 10 yards, 40 yards, 60 yards, effortless for him to play the ball into them positions. So being a great position for Jurgen at the moment, because he's got so much talent to call upon, and it's just getting the right 11 for the games, because it won't be the same 11 that plays every week. He'll be changing it around, freshening things up, and he'll be manoeuvring players around to suit the opposition that he's playing against.
As you're saying with Connor, still 2 assists at the weekend against Norwich, which shows that he can get forward. Like the 1-2 with Diogo on the wing was just absolutely terrific, and more experienced players than Norwich lads were. You know, we've seen the first goal there from James, and what a great assist for him.
But the way that Connor plays, for all he isn't the same as Trent. He's been so brave when he plays in terms of how he gets forward, how he links up, how he tries to attack. He's not as if he's a conservative fullback. Let's put it that way.
Well, the easy thing is when they have a goal kick and they're looking to play out from the back, you have a look at his starting position. It's not on the halfway line. He is 15 yards forward. He's in between their wide man and their midfield player. It's really adventurous starting position. It's really unorthodox in a way, but you can see he's been told, you go and stand in there, give them a problem and let them deal with it. So it's, as a young lad, to make those decisions is terrific.
One of the interesting things about tonight, Ray, I guess, one of the subplots, if I call it that, it's the midfield that it could have been against the midfield it ended up being, given the transfer business that was done by both sides during the last transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle in there, because when you look at Chelsea's got in there, I would think with Conor Gallagher in there alongside Enzo and also Caicedo, they're going to be trying to win that battle, because they're not what I would call players that are going to open up and get on the ball and seal passes in behind. They're not that tight. You know, they're more sitting midfielders. Enzo will get forward more than the other two, but that's where games are won and lost. Phil will tell you. You always say whoever wins that midfield battle normally goes on to win it. I think Liverpool have got more legs. You know, with Dominic Szoboszlai and certainly with Curtis Jones, you've got box-to-box players. These lads have got great engines on and love to get forward, can shoot from distance, they've got a goal in them. I don't quite see that from the Chelsea midfielders.
A lot of money spent by Chelsea on the midfield, despite having some good midfield options as it was. Fernandes, huge money. Was he? I don't say is he worth it, but could you understand why they spent as much on him off the back of the World Cup?
Right, when he played for Argentina, he was more of a sitter. He just sat all the time. He's a little bit more progressive. He'll be the one out of the 3, I would imagine, who's going to get forward to supplement the 3 players in front of him. Personally, I'm quite happy with that midfield that they played. I think there went be 2, which would have been Enzo and Caicedo, and just played another player just in front of him, a more attacking player. I would have been a little bit more concerned, because I think they've had more options going forward. As it is, I just think they're a little bit limited in that area.
I think they've got them to. It's like Szoboszlai brings that energy and running around that we've liked to have seen, and so Conor Gallagher gives them that. So I think the other 2, I think are a bit. I get it, because Enzo Fernandez has been looking at the Middlesbrough game. He was forever getting in the box. So I know where you were coming at. Says Caicedo, he's. You know, could he have come to us? You look at it, what was it, 220 million for those 2 players, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. Listen, I think it was far too much money for anybody to be playing. They deemed they were worth it. Who can argue? We'll see in the future, near future, distant future, whether they're great players. So it's quite interesting, their project.
Interesting project, an interesting game ahead. Okay, we're about to leave our viewers on social media. If you are watching us on Facebook, TikTok, X, etc., and you want to carry on staying with us on Matchday Live, details of how you can subscribe to LFC TV and LFC TV Go are available on the club website at liverpoolfc.com/watch. Coming up tonight for us, there's plenty on the way. We've got live audio commentary of tonight's game with Steve Hunter and John Aldridge from 8:15. The Matchday reaction show will follow the game. We're on back down pitchside here at Anfield at 10:30. And on TV and Go from midnight, we'll have the full match replay. Before Inside Anfield with all the behind-the-scenes footage and all the insight drops on YouTube and Facebook at some point tomorrow. OK, that's done for the moment. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the visitors, Chelsea, and give you the insight to the Blues who arrive here at Anfield looking to continue their recent return to form.
It's about where your dad went, it's about where your grandfather went. It's about a build-up over the years of stories, of sound.